Yes, I have my brother over there. Please go ahead.
Thank you, SG. SG, as much as you talk about in the city, about other political parties and the former structures running the municipalities, lately there was allegations of the mayor being sabotaged by using water and electricity by his own comrade. Don't you think men on the street will be saying, those comrades that I'm voting, at the end of the day, they are affecting me. I'm staying in a dark, I'm not able to drink water because of their fighting. And when it comes to them.
No, the issue about government, there's no comrade sabotage here. There are thugs in this country that run syndicate. And those thugs are from state services that are provided. If, for instance, in the township or location where you stay, there is a syndicate that operates there that for all the services that you are going to provide here, we want 30%. It's not community, it's somebody in jail who's notorious. And it is known that that service will not be provided. I was a minister in the trains. They were cutting the, what is this thing? You hear every day on your way, whilst you are in the train, the cable, there is cable theft, there is ESCOM, there are transformers. The issue about extortionists is to create a demand. And then once there is, government will then have to move in and provide the services, but not for free. So they will then, out of that demand, that we must be paid for this thing to happen here where we live. And then there will be some fictitious mobilization of communities around such activities. Whether it is cable theft or whether it is water, destroying the infrastructure in order for the tankers to move in. Because once there are tankers providing water, you know, even in the suburbs and everywhere in the townships where we live, somebody is benefiting out of that. Millions of rands out of that. So it's not a police affair only that police can kill that, but at the same time, it needs broader societal mobilization to deal with such syndicates. They are all over the country. Now, we have seen them here in Johannesburg. We have seen them here in Johannesburg with the water tankers syndicate. We have seen them. Amapungani have extensively. Okay? Thugs are thugs. They don't need to be given a political name. Fact that you can see me with a well-known criminal somewhere, you should ask yourself questions. Why? Why? So if people use their political standing in society to mix with criminals, they must be treated as criminals and they must suffer the same consequences. And the state must intervene harshly and decisively to arrest syndicates and criminals masquerading as businessmen. And then yet at the same time they extort the state. I have seen in my lifetime projects of government stopped that were benefiting in terms of job creation. Big investment were stopped in different communities where people just come and say that, no, on behalf of this community, you are not going to make business here. It is known, these people are known who are running these syndicates. It's not only in Johannesburg, it happens everywhere, especially in and around a number of areas you find these syndicates that are operational. In the construction, road construction, you will find them there. This road won't pass here in our community unless we get something. That's what they will do. Poor community doesn't know anything about benefits they are supposed to get when an individual is raking millions of rands from government contracts through different syndicates and so on. So that's what happens. They are well known. You know them even as the media. These people. Niyabakhomba nje. But be careful nibakhomba nje, because you will die. That's what they do. But our people can't live in fear when we've got a state. Some of you, when you write about these things, you are intimidated. You know, you are intimidated. So people just get lost. So that's where the state must come in and protect. You know, all these thugs running amok here, whether in water, electricity, or anywhere else, they must be rounded up to show that the state can protect its citizens, but also the services that are essential that must be provided to our people. People must come provide services free and fair, based on capacity, not on being, not on extorting the state and intimidating communities and all of that. That thing is sickening. We've got a lot of problems here of water. And when you go deeper, you go there, you campaign. People have been without water. There is an infrastructure program. Transformers just disappear. Transformer. People, you know, disappear. They destroy that transformer. And then they connect electricity illegally. And then who's going to suffer the consequence? Law-abiding citizens who pay tax and all of that are the ones who suffer. So that's why these things are interconnected. Law enforcement, dealing with acts of criminality, and all of that, they are interconnected. Once you address the other, then it means business will thrive, legit business, against people who are just masquerading as criminals, masquerading as businessmen, but extorting, you know, the state. That's what happens here. Yeah.
Okay. SG, the NSFAS question. Yeah.
NSFAS as challenges year in and year out, efficiency, distribution of resources. It was plagued with a lot of challenges, and those were investigated. The minister must clean up NSFAS. That NSFAS is legit. Today we're discussing budget. And if this budget were not to be passed, it will affect the very same students we're talking about. If this NSFAS, it is not there, it doesn't start now. It started right from the beginning in 1994 with TEFSA, and then it changed over time. It now NSFAS billions of rands supporting poor students. So if that money is embezzled, misused, maladministration, that's a problem. To a certain extent, some of the people who are saying increase efficiency in terms of control. I was in some of the municipalities, not only NSFAS, if I were to divert in the Free State. Poor municipality, they have a rollover, money not well spent. They employ somebody there who doesn't have qualifications. Expenditure becomes a problem. If that municipality belonged to the ANC, we as the ANC must be decisive. That's why we must not play with people who are just running amok. And if we have to lose them because they happen to be close to the movement because we call them comrades, we must deal with them. That's how society is going to respect the ANC. You can't have a municipality underqualified, not performing, monies, poor municipality, monies rolled over back to treasury. That is criminality. And we have now taken a decision where we have identified such anomalies and inefficiencies and all of that. We must intervene decisively. You know, Donald Trump is doing something there called Dodge. We don't want Dodge of Donald Trump. We want Dodge where we are able to intervene even in local government, where monies are being misused by poor municipalities, are not being properly channeled. We've got our own Vulindlela here, which have done things in this government that are perfect and wonderful for our government. I mean, we're dealing at the TNPA with corporatization, which is what government has passed and agreed to 2005 and was not being effected, to enable TNPA within Transnet to be able to generate its own revenue and all of that, but through corporatization. That was not implemented. Vulindlela intervened and ensured that does actually happen. There are proposals that have been made here on concessions and all of that. President is addressing that to enable the intervention of the private sector to come to the party. Some of these things will find expression in the policy implementation and work that needs to be done. You can't say budget must not be passed because corporatization of TNPA is not being implemented. The deficiencies of policy implementation in the Department of Transport can't be a problem of the Minister of Transport, Minister of Finance and Treasury. Those issues must be implemented in government policy level. And that's what Vulindlela has been doing, opening up, ensuring that things do happen, intervene in municipalities like it has happened in eThekwini, and that will go on and on with everybody else, you know, to ensure that we address some of these challenges. This must go to NSFAS as well, because if monies allocated are not well spent, students will continue to protest with nodes or whatever you can call it. They will continue to protest. You see, I mean, you go to Cape Town, UCT, students are protesting there. You go every university beginning of the year, students are protesting there. But the protest will always be there if the system is not enough for everybody, you know, particularly those who can't afford. For all of you to become accomplished journalists, you were supported by this NSFAS and TEFSA over the years, and you became accomplished journalists. You did not come from well-off families, majority of you. You were paid for by the state to support you. And that time, there was no bursary roll out. You were taking loan from government to finish your degree, and thereafter you paid back. Now, we've killed that with this NSFAS. So that is why it is important that it must be guarded and ensure that all the money that is allocated is well spent and benefit the poor students in the different universities.
Okay, thank you very much.